It was high school though. I feel like I was so out in high school because when I moved to LA, I like decided to come out of the closet. So I was very like free, I guess.
Hmm.
Like I wore a t-shirt in high school that said "Damn right I'm gay." And it was like purple and it had two guys holding hands on it. Like,
Oh,
so in your face, like so loud, you know. Um I don't know, it was such a interesting thing, like and then the things that happen after high school, like the things you find out about other people or professors or teachers or whatever,
yeah.
like we had a teacher like or I had a teacher, his name was I'm not gonna sorry. But basically like I had him for history and he used to request me, like put me in his classes. And I fucking hated this guy. And I thought you hated me too, you know? Um,
Hmm.
but I would get B's in his classes, whatever, but like he would always call me out because I was gay. And then like he ended up coming out of the closet like 3 years after I graduated from high school, you
Of
know?
course you did.
And I was just like, dude, you used to like pick on me, bully me like so much. Like it's like hella crazy. Like obviously you graded my projects and my papers and you graded me harsher than like everybody else. Like what the fuck, you know? And
Maybe if I give
Yeah.
him a B, he become a straight. That means I'm straight.
so totally he literally and then he messaged me and was like, I just want to apologize and let you know like I did treat you differently and
He was jealous, dude.
yeah, he's like you were so free and like at such a young age you knew who you are and like I feel like I just didn't know who I am and I was just like wow, crazy, you're a human too, but also
Right.
public education, like what the fuck
Yeah.
is going on?
Do you
Like
think do you think kids nowadays know who they are?
more so I think they have the freedom to we have the space more and the environment to know who we are in a different way.
And
uh,
the awareness, like they're more of like they have the capability of like finding other people like themselves, like other groups. They have like the vocabulary for it. Like there's so many people who are just raised like even in our generation, but especially before us, like they were only in a like religious environment or were only in like their family. Like we didn't have that access to that kind of information and like get to decide like uh, an aware decision of who you are because like so many people have to find that out like or not decision but you know what I mean like that recognition like
that awareness of like recognizing who you are, and who you want to be, right? Um,
yeah.
and who you want to share with the world, and like living in your truth every day, right? It's like it's a very different thing, like getting to wake up and just be yourself every day compared to in high school where I felt like, you know, you're still yourself, but you're not fully yourself. I don't know. It's like you're still trying to figure out who you are and you're still testing the waters. And like now, I think as we're almost 30 or in our 30s, it's like I have so much more. I'm empowered by who I am. I'm confident in who I am. I know my values. I know what makes me tick. I know what motivates me. Um,
Yeah.
so it's such a different time in our lives compared to 15 years ago. It's like even just thinking back to high school, like there's certain aspects of my life that I definitely see that have not left. Like I'm still very social. I'm still
Hmm.
very much an extrovert. Um, I still very much like having a large group of friends that I really care about and like we like invest time with. You know, but like I also see maturity in like having like kind of smaller circles of friends and knowing that you can have different types of friends and different groups of friends that you do different things with,
Yeah.
um, and that's okay like in adulthood. Um, it's more than okay, it's actually great. And healthy.
Totally.
um,
I mean we had like different I remember we had someone we didn't have a ton of people who were like very openly out when we were like growing up in school. We had some and some that was kind
But
of
you
assumed.
knew. You knew.
Yeah, but there wasn't as many that were like really owning it. There were a couple, and there was one who was a little older than us, and he was cool, and our group of girlfriends were always cool with him, and so he would come around. And I remember one of my girlfriends, Nicole, she had worn these amazing shoes. They were like these heels, and they were like strappy, and then they strapped all the way up your calf and like wrapped around like gladiator kind of like boots looking thing. Super cute. In very early 2000s, and he wanted to borrow them. And so Nicole's like, yeah, of course. And so like the next day or so later that week, he wears the same shoes and he's stomping around and he's so cute. And of course, there are other things about him that he didn't fit the stereotypical mold that people wanted to. And so like in general, he already got plenty of flack, but like he just kind of rolled with it and he was so lovely. And I remember him just rocking them. And like I loved how he was just like he could have been in a Beyonce like music video, the way he was like stomping around, like he was down with them. But oh my God, I remember it being way more of a reaction like from other people than I ever expected. Like I knew he was gonna wear them. I knew that they were obviously not your stereotypical male like shoes, but
people were like upset, like visibly like up in arms.
yeah, people were like getting mean, and I was like genuinely worried that they were gonna like because those are like
Yeah, I
those are some
remember that.
shoes. You
I
could
think I remember that.
you probably do. It was,
Yeah,
and
because I think I definitely remember like making fun of him.
I remember being worried someone was going to trip him or something because those are like some heels, like those, we had a lot of stairs in our campus. Like, if any, like I was just like getting worried toward it because I thought everything was fine. And then like halfway through the day, I kept hearing comments and I was like, why do you care? Like, they're not your feet. Like,
Totally.
Yeah, I mean,
what's it going to do to you?
Back to like that, like heteronormative culture, what we thought America was or America is just like I remember we didn't talk to gay people. It was not a thing. Like, and if you were friends with a gay person, then we thought that means that you're also gay.
Yeah.
So we're like, I remember this one kid. I can't say names, but like, I remember one time, like one of our buddies was talking to one of the gay guys at school, and then he came back to us, and then we were like, "Oh damn, what's that smell?" I was like, "Is that dick breath? Did you suck his dick?" And then people are like just talking dick breath for the whole day. And then I think after that, he didn't talk to him at school for a long time or in public.
Wow.
It's so sad.
It was just like if you were friends, like if you talked to a gay person or were friends with a gay person, we made it known that you were talking to, like, I don't know if like it was just I don't really think that we were against the, okay, maybe it was just like we were just following an idea of like men and women and the different roles that we have. And I don't think we really knew why we were following it, but we just followed it to a T. It was just something was normal. It was, to us, it was normal. It was like I remember people talking about Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Mm-hmm. And if you broke out of that norm, we would chastise you for it.
It's funny how like I have a friend, he's a little older than us, and he has a kid who's like 13, and he doesn't live with him all the time, but he, comes and visits him, and because his mom lives further away. And I was like meeting the kid like a week or two ago and hanging out, and they're super cute. They're totally like, they get along so well. But the kid's a little skater dude. He definitely has like little girlfriends back home. He was like texting or whatever, but he paints his nails. And like, I think it's cool that he paints his nails, he does his own thing. And his dad thinks it's cool that he paints his nails. And even though that's not like really what he grew up with, like he's also like fine with it. But I guess my friend's dad, like the kid's grandpa, is like, gets fully thrown off by that kind of thing. And it's so interesting to me that like something so little, like that has nothing to do with like your sexuality, like your freaking fingernails, like as if that means anything, is like, getting that kind of judgment. And I remember the same thing when I was a kid. My uncle, who was way older, and he's gone now, but like he would have been in his 80s now if he was still alive. I remember I had painted my nails red and I was little, and my uncle was like so thrown off. Like, you can't have red nails. You're too young for that. Like, that means, basically I was like a loose woman if I had red
Yeah,
nails, and
you're a
like it's
whore.
just
You're a
like,
She
whore.
she
yeah, and I was
belongs
like this
she
little
belongs on
kid,
the
like,
streets.
yeah, like what? Like what is that? And I remember him even having a hard time trying to explain to me what it would mean and why it was bad, because I was still a little kid and he couldn't talk to me about certain things, but at the same time didn't want me like, repeating these things. And it was just so funny that it was like this taboo thing. And I was like, if it's like my nail, like who cares? Like,
Totally.
what does it matter what color they are?
Yeah, I mean, it could also go back to the idea where like if a girl is wearing like a hoochie uniform, that means she's asking for it, right? I mean, I'm not saying it is, but like it goes back to that idea of like, oh, she wouldn't have gotten like attacked if she wasn't wearing this kind of clothing.
Oh, totally. I've even
You know what I
heard
mean?
that from like guys who were, there's a guy I knew who's more liberal minded, and we were like seeing each other for a little bit a while back. And I remember we left, I didn't want him driving after drinking. So we left his car, we walked back, but then he wanted to go get his car later on. And I was like, okay, I'll walk with you. But I had this dress on, and it was like, it was summertime. It was a little like summer dress, but it had like a low cut back. And like literally, we didn't see anybody we're walking all through neighborhoods. It's not like we were walking through a crazy part of town in a crazy city or anything. And he was like all worried that I wasn't going to change. I was like, well, I don't have other clothes to change to. Like, you want me to put on your clothes to walk like not very far, like what sense? And he's like,
Oh,
well, like he basically, and he was like, in theory, usually very open minded on stuff and very feminist minded. And then he full on basically
too
was like,
modest. He was too modest.
yeah, it fully went into like, well, like isn't that just asking for it? Like what, I'm gonna have to like fight somebody? If I'm like, why would you have to fight somebody? Like we're gonna walk, we're gonna pick up your car. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? Like a brawl is gonna go down because I'm wearing like a cute dress? Like,
Right.
I don't know. It just,
I feel like that's ingrained since middle school too. It's like fucking spaghetti straps and like no
yeah.
spaghetti straps, no fucking.
Oh no, your shoulder's showing. Like, he'll distract the boys.
Oh, them ankles, bro.
Meanwhile, it's like guys can pretty much wear whatever,
Yeah. Shirts and skins, doesn't matter.
Like they used to annoy the fuck out of me. I mean, I went to a private school, so it was all uniforms anyway.
Mm.
So it's like there's not much room for creativity. But once I went to Burbank, was public. It's like girls would get pulled all the time, for wearing like it wasn't even like skimpy shit. It was just like shit that just was against the dress code, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what? I don't know. Some stuff is a little over the top, I guess.
The dress code thing really pisses me off. The logic of like, you might
Over the
distract
top.
the boys, so you need
Get
to
it?
go home, like, and miss your education so they don't miss maybe some of theirs, maybe.
Right. Like it's like don't distract them from getting their education, as if the girls are the ones doing any of the distract. Like it's just like a very
Yeah. It puts the ball in our court of like, we're the ones responsible for their actions.
right.
Yeah. I was like, if any straight guy wants to learn respect for not attacking somebody, go to a gay club. It's not fun. When you get grabbed, it's not a good time.
Yeah, it's interesting though because I feel like growing up and experiencing that in the gay club and getting like high key sexually harassed, like it's a very different thing. Like either you like rise and like your self-esteem rises and you're like, get the fuck away from me, and you start to like control the situation,
Mhm.
you learn to control it. Or you start off in like a kind of a more downward pattern where it's like it can be very traumatic and scary and like not a good thing. And I think there's a balance of both in there, like there's like you put yourself in iffy situations sometimes and you're like, okay, maybe not, maybe gone a little too far here.
Yeah.
I also just think you're right, Eric. Like I've taken straight friends to West Hollywood and the Castro and other places, and like they're like, "Oh my god, that guy just grabbed my ass," and I'm just like, "Bro, you just talked about grabbing some girl's ass in the club 2 days ago. Like, what are you saying?" Like, and they're like, "Well, it's different," and I'm like, "It's not different. That person does not know you. and they
But
just
her dress was asking for it, bro.
right, and I'm like, they're over here trying to grab your dick, yes, right now, like they are DT, like they're down to suck your dick in the bathroom. I shit you not, but like the girls you're trying to talk to, not in that same category. Like no, like, and he's like, they're so aggressive, and I'm like, I'm happy you're learning your lessons here, going through, like gay
Yeah,
hetero.
it's like the rule: you can look, but you can't stare or touch.
Mhm.
I mean, if somebody's wearing something, I'm gonna look, but I'm not gonna be like fucking eye focused on somebody because that's creepy, you know?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
you
that
gotta be creepy about it.
people wear great things to be looked
Yeah,
at, like don't get me wrong, like I think there's a certain, to look good, yes, but also like there's some people who have some banging bodies, and it's just like they know what they're putting out there, but at the same time it's like everybody
you can't be grabbing dicks, bro. Consent. That is the number one keyword.
yeah.